as we listen to the Beach Boys from the beach here in Clacton, arriving from over the pier and soaring up towards Jaywick. The Mustang has arrived.
Flying for you this afternoon is Dave Pulliston from the Ultimate Fighters. Dave's been passionate about flying vintage aircraft for as long as he can remember, and he's a very well-known face around the air display circuit.
And after that low, fast pass from left to right, we get a slower pass with the right leg down. A wonderful view of the underbelly of this P-51 Mustang known as Jersey Jerk. A wonderful sound of that Packard Merlin engine as it soars into the sky over the end of Clacton Pier. Not looking in bad shape, Sam, for an aircraft manufactured in 1947.
Yes, she was manufactured in Melbourne, Australia. Now, of course, most of the Mustangs are actually produced for the US Air Force, of course, but a lot of them were produced in California, but this one was built in Australia. And the reason I think she's in such good condition is she spent many years of her life, many decades, actually sat in storage. Although she was delivered in 1948, she sat in store until 1957. Decades later, she reappeared as a restoration project via Fort Lauderdale in Florida, shipped back to Australia to Queensland in May 1995. It was then in her first flight after a restoration in 2002, where she was configured with dual controls for the passenger seat. And then 2 decades later, she was eventually sold in 2020 and acquired by Ultimate Warbirds, who now own her and operate out of Sywell in Northamptonshire. They repainted her in the stunning colours of the P-51D Mustang Jersey Jerk, a personal mount of Major Donald Strait of the 361st Fighter Squadron, 356th Fighter Group. On the 5th of May 2024, she took her maiden flight as a rebuilt, restored aircraft.
So this aircraft honours Donald J. Strait, the top ace of the US 8th Air Force, who flew from Martlesham Heath in Suffolk in World War II. In 122 missions, he achieved 13.5 aerial victories, including 3 in a single mission in 1945. The P-51 that Major Strait was best known for was his Jersey Jerk. In 1944, he became the CEO of the 361st Flying School. He was decorated 9 times, and the final honour was induction into the New Jersey Aviation Hall of Fame.
Now, yesterday evening, we were honoured with an appearance of another Mustang, the Moonbeam McSwire, the P-51D. And talking to the pilot, Alistair Stegg-Williams, I asked him, why is it so special to fly a Mustang? What do you love about it? And he said, well, put it this way, if I had a choice, I would have flown a Mustang as a fighter aircraft and flown a Spitfire for leisure. He said it's an absolute honour and a privilege to fly such a wonderful and capable aircraft. The P-51 Mustang was the most versatile aircraft, capable of escorting bombers on their long-range missions, engaging in dogfights and dropping down to destroy the German targets on the ground. It's been used not just for World War II, but the Korean War and other conflicts. Although she was an American aircraft, she spent a lot of time flying out of Britain during World War II, supporting Britain and the Allied troops on those bomber escort missions. Her full potential was developed when the USA realized that the aircraft had really been ignored for far too long, and they forged the American airframe, but with the British Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, which would be unmatched by any other piston aircraft of World War II.
Now, this year's Mustang display carries a poignant local connection due to the 80th anniversary of the loss of a P-51D off the coast of Clacton during the Second World War. Yes, not far from where we stand today in Clacton on January the 13th, 1945. The Mustang is a centrepiece of the East Essex Aviation Museum, which is just around the coast from here in Point Clear, St Osyth, from hypothermia. His body was laid to rest at the American Military Cemetery at Adison, and after the end of the hostilities was returned to the United States in Point Clear. Now, we can hear from a man called Albert Scott, who